Namaste guys, this is Ashmita and I have a really fun new project, and it is a little journal, a junk journal that I'm going to put together from start to finish right here in front of you guys. And to do that, I'm going to use a couple of products, and instead of going through all of my products in one go, I decided on showing you all of the products as and when I use them in my project. So the first thing that we are going to be using is the really neat journal cover from Holtz, and this is a really super duper awesome invention, and I just love it. Just love the way it looks. It's already so grunged up, and since it's going to be a long video, I don't want to make it longer by chatting. So the dimensions for this little guy is, it's 5 this way and 7 inches tall, and it's already pre-scored, and it's covered in fabric, and it's lined with paper on the inside. So what I'm going to do here, and I have my craft sheet all laid out beautifully here, and I'm going to maybe place it this way. And I'm going to alter this, not too much. I just want to go over the entire fabric of the outer cover with my distress stain, and the color that I'm using today is the antique linen. So I'm just going to give it a good shake. I'm going to just start staining the cover. And I'm not going to use my heat tool to dry this. I want it to dry naturally, because it does have a chipboard sandwich in between these two layers of fabric and paper, and I don't want the chipboard to warp. So I'm just going to leave it and let it to air dry on its own. So I'm going to put this aside. And for the inside pages, I have something really neat. I'm going to be using the new collection from Holtz, and that is the Crowded Attic, and I have it here, and this is gorgeous stuff, and I just love all the papers inside. And let me just show you quickly. I don't mind this tear here. I was so excited when I got the pad that I had to open it as fast as I could, and you can see all the lovely vintagey grungy patterns. And these papers are double-sided, and they're really thick, so they're perfect for a project like this. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So those are all the patterns you get. So you get your 12 by 12s, and then you do get your 6 by 6s, and that's the 6 by 6. And I have used all the 6 by 6s from this pad. So this is the last one left, and I'm going to do this in front of so you. What we're going to do is we're going to take, we're going to grab the 6 by 6 out of the pad, and I'm going to just trim it down the middle like that at 6. So I'm just going to do that off camera here. Just going to trim my 12 by 12 to a piece of 12 by 6. There you have it, and you're going to be left with these two pieces of your of 12 by 6, and then you're going to grab your scoreboard like so, and I'm going to quickly do the scoring. Sorry for the grab. I'm going to just grab my scoring tool, and I think I'm going to use this, and I don't know if you've seen this. This is a tool for the rub-ons, and it does have this really lovely rounded embossing tool sort of a look head, and I love using that to do my scoring. So I'm just going to show you how really well it works. So you're going to score it down at 6, like so, and then you're going to score in from each of the sides at 1.5. And I'm going to flip this over just to make sure that I'm doing it exactly at 1.5. I like to flip my papers. So I'm going to grab the other one as well, and I'm again same way. I'm going to score it at 6 inches. And notice I'm using my new holtz rub-on tool. I forgot the name of it, but I'm going to put the link of it below, and I'm going to add it in the caption as well. I'm really silly that way. I don't remember the names very well. So you're going to end up with these 3 score lines, and I'm going to put my tool away, and I don't need my scoreboard anymore. I'm going to grab my bone folder, and you're going to just fold in these edges like so, and you're going to fold it in half, and you can see already we have a really neat looking journal page. So I'm going to do that to this one as well. I'm going to fold this in on both sides, and then I'm going to fold it down in the middle, and these are the 2 pages. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to ink my edges first, and to ink I'm going to use the walnut stain distress ink and my ranges blending tool. I'm going to go ahead and get some color going on all of the edges. Gives it a really lovely and neat burnt edge sort of a look. I love vintage. And look at the condition of my, I probably shouldn't be showing you this, but I wanted to show somebody what my distress tool, the one with the walnut stain and the vintage photo, looks like, because that's how much I use them. Gross, I know. So very quickly I am going to just ink all of my edges, and I'm going to do the same thing on the inside as well. And since these papers are double-sided, you don't really have to give a lot of thought about using both sides of your sheets for a project like this where you're creating a journal. So that's done, and I'm going to grab the second one and give it a quick go with my distress tool. So that's that side, and look at the patterns. These are really awesome. I thought it was perfect for something like this, like a quick little gift, or something small to carry around with you, something that you can, you know, write your notes in, or add some pictures, store away some memorabilia, add your list, or maybe even get, you know, people to write in that for you. That would be neat. So that's all the distressing we'll be doing to these pages, and then I'm going to grab my tacky glue, and this stuff is awesome. This is from Aline, and oops, sorry about that. I'm going to open up both these pages, and what I've done with all the rest of the pages is I have created little pocket tabs, and I'm going to, since you have these two flaps folded over, so I'm just going to randomly pick which side I want to create into a pocket. And I'm really liking, maybe I'm going to turn this one into a pocket. And what I mean by a pocket is, you're going to see in a minute, I'm just going to add a little line of glue like that, and I'm just going to close it. So this gives me a little pocket. So that one's done, and I'm not going to attach this. So I want to maybe use this for writing and stuff. Don't want pockets on both sides. Some visual diversity. So maybe for this one, I'm going to turn this one into a pocket. And I'm going to just add a thin line of glue and glue it together. Put away my glue. And I have noticed if you go over the glue with your bone folder, it sticks instantly. So that's a tip, if you already didn't know. So now what we're going to do is we are going to gussy these up. We're going to make them pretty. And to do that, I have used the ephemera pack, and this is the expedition pack. I've used up almost all of them, and I do have some bits left over for these two pages, and I'm just going to quickly be grabbing those, and let's see what I have left. I have some of the maps, the globes. I think I'm just going to dump them all here. I'm sorry about the mess, but this is how I work. I need everything out in order to create. So I hope I have the orientation of these correct, because it's very important, since these do have tickets going in all directions. You need to make sure you have your orientation correct. And I think I'm going to use this one here, and it says always ready for use. I'm just going to add a thin line of glue and turn that into a little tuck away pocket for notes and such. And I like to get away with the extra glue that pops out with a little baby wipe. So that's done, and I'm going to be adding whatever I want to add later. And on this side, I probably, let's put this page away. I think I'm going to sandwich this in between the maps. And let's see, which one's got India? Okay, this one's got India, so this one's going to go on top. And I'm not being, I'm not showing any favoritism, I hope. So I'm just going to glue this one, and I'm just going to open it, and I did get a little bit of glue on the inside, but it's okay, it's a chunk journal. And I'm going to add glue to entire piece, the second one. I'm just going to sandwich that flap in between. And what do you know, they don't really match up, but I don't really care, doesn't bother me at all. So I have already inked the edges of all of these little ephemera pieces with the walnut stain, so I'm using them directly. If you're going to follow me exactly down to the T, so you can use whatever ink that you use and stain them before you adhere them onto your project. So for this little guy, let's continue altering this a little bit, and I think I'm just going to add this little ticket here to the pocket that we created. And I really like these three, and there's three of these, and they say what, where, and who. and I don't know, I wanted to make a little pocket for them, and I think I'll probably stick them in here. So you have your what, and look at that, they just line up perfectly. I'm going to get these 3 in. So I think that looks cute. So we have that done, and we have this one done, and for the back, oh, I probably might go for something. I just have a very few pieces left, so I have to decide. I think I'm going to go with this little guy here. I'm just going to add a little line of glue on one side, and I'm going to adhere him down there. So not all the way through, so you have the ability to tuck something under it after it's dried. You don't want to do that before, because the piece that you tuck in might get stuck onto your onto the glue that's already on there. So that's done. And with this one, I have these 2 pieces from the ephemera collection, and I added these little dials here, and I really wanted to do something with those, so I probably might use them, probably something like that. And I'm going to just take my pokey tool, and I'm going to poke a hole through. And I'm not really bothering about, I already have these spinners in there, so I'm just going to take it off. I'm just going to use a little brad and put them in place. I thought it just gives it an interesting look. Okay, so I'm going to take a brad, and I'm just going to pop it through and attach this down here as well. Flatten it out at the back. So you have these really cool spinner pieces just for fun, and they're going to move around as well, and you can tuck things behind them as well. So I thought that would be pretty neat, and it doesn't really bother me because I have these 2 brads sticking in here, because I'm going to be covering them up as well, or I'm just going to, while I'm writing in them, I might just add some little pieces of ephemera or some washi tape or something. I just wanted it to be really interactive. So on this side, I'm probably going to use this guy maybe, and I'm just going to make it a little bit colorful and interesting. And I'm just going to use these and tuck my leftovers into my pockets. And on this side, I think I'm really happy with where this one is right now. I'm going to just tuck this one in here because it's dried. I'm probably going to Yep, I think I like it like that. Just gonna add a ton of glue. I'm just going to cover the little teeny tiny butterfly down there. I hope he doesn't mind. And that's done. And these little guys are from the ephemera as well. And I think I'm done with my ephemera for now. And I don't know where I'm going to put down Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Probably in the rest of the pages somewhere. So for now I think I'm done. So for the next embellishment, I really am in love with the rub-ons, and the collection that I used here were the elements. And look at all the beautiful, and let me just take them out to avoid the glare. Sorry about the noise. Just you'll still get the glare. I guess I didn't think it through. So you get this really lovely elements, and you'll see them throughout the book, but I did use quite a bit of the rub-ons, and I do have some pieces here because I was saving up the butterflies for the butterfly page, and you can see that I only have it cut out. So all you need to do with these guys is peel them off from the backing paper like so, and you're left with the translucent layer that actually holds your the rub-on. Let's get this guy away. The rub-on sticky part. I don't know what it's called. The transfer image. And I'm just going to find a place where I would like to have it. And I'm going to, of course, bring my tool, and with the other side I'm going to give it a good burnish. And to find out if your image is completely transferred to your surface, the easiest way that I found was, since the images are all in black, they're going to turn gray, because that means it would have left the protective sheet and would have transferred to your surface completely. So you really need to burnish this well and make sure you have your image completely transferred onto your page. And I'm going over it twice because I don't want to waste any of my lovely little rub-on. So I'm going to just check and gingerly peel it off, and look, I did a good job. I don't have any black bit of ink left over on my protective sheet, and I have my beautiful little image transferred onto my page here. So what I like to do with this is I like to keep it open, and I like it to get a little bit of air because it's kind of tacky to begin with. So I notice the more you leave it out, it kind of dries on its own. So instead of going over with your finger and ruining the image, it's better that you just let it air dry for a bit. And I'm going to pick some fun little piece from here as well for my page over here. And this one is probably too big. I'm probably going to use the airplane. I'm just going to snip it right out, and I want it somewhere over the map. Why not have it going over India? And again, just going to burnish it really well. And for little images like this, it doesn't really it's not really difficult. Sorry about that. But for big ones, you really have to be careful to go over each and every tiny little detail if you want a good transfer. I think that's done, and I'm just going to just a little bit left, and there you go. So you have your little airplane down there, and I can do this all day. So I think I'm going to stop myself and move on to the next phase of our book. So I've just found this one, so I think I'm just going to adhere this one before I lose it again, because I was saving it. So you have your 2 journal pages that look like this, and for the next stage what I did was, in the pattern paper you did have some sheets, and there are 3 of these which had the 2x2s. So you can see these little 2x2 cubes, and what I did was I cut the 12x12 down to 6x6s, and you got 4 each from each of your 12x12s, so that gives you 12 little 6x6s. And what I did was I took my envelope punch board and I found my measurement for 6x6. So then write down here, and you need to just create a little envelope with this guy. So for 6x6 you need to first do the first punch at 2 and 5/8. And then score, and then again. And most of you already know how to use the EPB to create envelopes, but you just have to punch it once and then score, and then use the score line and align it up. Each time you spin your paper around at a 90-degree, and you get your 4 score lines, and you get these 4 notches. So I'm just going to pick a top, and I really like this head, so I'm just going to round it off so I know which is going to be my the top flap of my envelope. And at this stage what I'd like to do is I just need I give it a rough burnish like so, and I do like to mark in where the flaps meet, because it really bothers me to have that little extra bit sticking out. So I'm just going to get rid of that, and at this point I like to ink it up, and I'm just going to go over all the edges, and I'm again using my walnut stain distress ink. And for the top one you need to do it on both sides, the front and the back. I'm just going to glue this little guy together. I'm just going to add a little line of glue on these 2 flaps and a little bit of glue on my top flap. I'm just going to bring it together. I'm going to close up my envelope. I'm just going to finish it off with a final pass with my distressing tool again. Not the distressing tool, but my blending tool. So I end up with an envelope like that, and I'm going to grab my page here. I'm just going to simply add my little envelope into my little pocket that we'd created, like so. So for the next stage, what you need to do is, I'm going to grab my cover, and I'm hoping that it is fairly dry by now. And it isn't really dry, but it'll do. We have to move on. So the distance between the two holes I measured is 4.5. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to need to poke holes onto my pages to attach them. So I'm going to use one of my previous pages as my guide, and I do have the twine already going through, but that's okay. I'm just going to line them up like so, and I'm going to just mark where my holes need to go. I'm going to do that to both the pages. Again, I'm just going to line them up, spine to spine, and I'm just going to mark where my holes need to be, like so. I'm going to grab my crocodile, and I have this at the smaller setting for the 1/8 for the 1/8 hole, and I'm just going to line up with the puncher needle, and I'm going to just poke my hole like so. I'm going to do that to this one as well, and you get a really neat hole. I'm going to repeat this with this one. And that's it. So you're going to be left with something like that, and I do have some just regular baker twine that I'm going to be using to put my pages together. So I'm just going to pass it through these holes that I just punched out. Like so. I'm going to do the same with this one. So once I'm happy with the blending on the inside, I have saved 2 of the larger pieces from the ephemera pack, and I'm going to use these two to create 2 pockets here. And like I said, I wasn't really bothered about my paper ripping a little bit because it was wet. So I'm just going, this is going to cover it up anyways. So I wanted to create 2 pockets for my extra tags and tickets and whatnot that I'm going to be using this book for. I'm just going to add some glue on 3 sides of this tag here, and I'm just going to add him. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I'm just going to add glue to 3 sides. Like so. And I'm going to glue this guy down and create a little pocket. So I have this done, and I'm going to grab all of my pages, and you thought I had only 2, right? But I don't. I have 12 pages already done, and they already have their twines in them. So what I'm going to do is, and look at that, it fell off. So I'm just going to pick them up one by one, and I'm just going to feed the twine through these 2 holes, and it's as easy as that. Don't you just love these covers? So just gonna pick, and I already have them in the order that I wanted them in. So I'm just going to quickly add all of these. So I'm back and I have all of the twine threaded through these two eyelet holes here, and I've tied each of the pages with a knot, and it does look a little messy here, but then I'm going to show you how to tidy this up in a bit. What we're going to do with this is I'm not going to do too much. I'm just going to trim them off. I'm going to tie a little knot. I'm going to pick out, since there are 12 pages in there, so it has 24 of these strands, and I'm just going to simply tie a knot. Just going to part them in the middle like hair. I'm just going to tie them together into a knot, just to make it a little fancy, like that. I'm just going to tidy up my edges by giving them a little bit of a trim, and to do that I'm going to make it stand, so I have them like I have them all facing, they're all straight, like giving a haircut, like so. And just to make it prettier, I have a little cage charm with a little camera dangling, and since it was already really bulky, I didn't want to add too much bulk. Too much bulk to the spine. I'm just going to add my charm onto my string here. Like that. Really simple. So I'm going to take this pack of the found relatives, and I'm going to pick out a few cards, and I'm just going to give you the tour of the journal as well. While we do this, I'm going to add a couple of these lovely cards in here. So that's our first page that we created, and I'm going to grab another card and add that in the pocket. So I'm going to quickly flip through, and you have your spinner pages, and then you have the second page that we had created, and this is the pages. This is the page that I created before I shot the video. So lots of ephemera, tickets, little half pages that I stuck into the twine, more of those little envelopes. And then you can stick something in there as well. Some more ephemeras and tags. Another of the little envelopes, and you can stick another found relative card in there. So this is a really quick and easy way to create a fun little journal, and you can use any of the collections of paper series that you have. But these papers work really well because they're double-sided, and you can see that you can use both the faces to write in. So and some more of the rub-ons, and I used a lot of the rub-ons. Another rub-on there, another one here, a little tag, another little tag with the rub-on, some more some ephemera pieces up here, some more ephemeras, tickets, And this little piece is also a rub-on. Another little envelope. It's the last page. And you can stick another found relative card in there. And you can, you know, journal on the back of these. And these are really awesome. They look like tarot cards. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my little tutorial and my little journal as well. And this is really handy and very sturdy, and you can tuck it in your bag and purse. And tell me what you think about my video, and don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. Come back again. Bye bye.